Hello, America, and we're back. And now we're going to hear another song from the Rock Cookie Bottoms. And take it away.
Thank you very much, John Wants Answers. Well, this song is for Steve Wozniak, wherever he may be. We prepared this song for him, hoping he would be here, but he's not. So
he's always with us, John.
So this one, yeah, it's for you, Woz. He invented the personal computer in a garage in 1975. But that was just a geek with passion, and it's passion that keeps us alive. And it's passion that keeps us alive. Do it for fun. Do it for fun. Do it for the passion. Do it for passion. Do it because. Do it because. That's the why. That's the why. That's the why. He didn't set out to change the world, pouring his heart into subroutines when jobs wouldn't give employees stock options. Woz shared his with the rest of the team. Woz shared his with the rest of the team. Do it for fun. Do it for fun. Don't do it for the money. Do it because. Do it because. That's the why. That's the why. Steve Wozniak, yo, I got your back. Segway, a jetpack, I'm always on the Mac. My heart is free. When I was 3, my first compy was an Apple IIe. I used it every day, and I remember when I learned to type. Wish you could have been my 5th grade teacher. It's a bug, it's not a feature. You're a singular creature. You're a key god and a creature of the wisdom that is fun. And being who you are, making each day count, embracing the bizarre. That's just the why. Just the why. Just the why. Just the why. Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak. Wisdom that is fun, and being who you are, taking each day count, and embracing the bizarre. Wisdom that is fun, and being who you are, taking each day count, and embracing the bizarre. That's just, that's just, that's just the one.
Woo! That was
Thank
great.
you.
That was great.
Wow.
No one's ever going to write a song about us.
Well,
you.
a song about me.
They just wrote a song
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected. No one's ever going to write a long song about us.
Yeah. Longer than half a minute.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was great. That was the Rock Cookie Bottoms singing the Woz. Is that the Woz or Woz?
Yeah, that's just the Woz.
That's just
the
the
Woz.
Woz.
That's just the Woz.
Okay, so I checked our tweets. Guess what?
The internet's down.
We have none. I used my 3G, still have none.
Yeah.
So
So
we're going to skip the tweety portion of this show.
Maybe the internet's down everywhere.
Everywhere. Because of WikiLeaks. Our next topic, WikiLeaks.
G.
They took down the internet, so because they knew we were going to talk about this.
Really?
So
Wow.
that's what I heard.
There.
So, is it a wiki?
No.
No.
Used to be.
Does it have leaks?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I guess it does. Yes.
So
Okay, now we got 7 minutes to fill. I hope you got more questions.
okay, so they're in the news because what?
They published a bunch of leaked information from various sources over the years. Most recently, they published a large trove of cables and communications from inside the State Department,
Now,
primarily
what's
between
a
the State
cable?
Department.
I've heard this
Well,
word a lot,
it's really
cable.
an email these days. They used to,
It's like a
you know, be
telegraph or a telegram.
right. They used to be cables, which were sent over telegraphs, or later voice operators would actually call each other and they'd read it, and the guy at the far end would type it.
So just like an email now.
Yeah, and then they turned into those little printers, teletype printers, and then now it's just an email.
They released a bunch of stuff. I remember
Lot
like
of stuff.
6 months ago, they released some stuff about the wars.
Yeah, yeah.
And that wasn't such a big deal, was it?
Not
It was
as big a deal.
Biggish deal, but not a big deal.
Yeah.
But now this is a big deal.
Yes, because it's inside it's from the State Department. Some of it was classified secret, and a lot of it is somewhat embarrassing, and so it's a big deal.
So is it more so that's embarrassing, or is it a breach of national
I think it's more so that it's embarrassing.
Ah.
That it kind of shows that the State Department's internal decision-making isn't always the same as our external stance, what we're saying about things.
Ah.
And the same true for other governments. For
Right.
example, while a lot of governments in the Mideast have kind of been trying to, take Iran's side in a lot of things, the internal cables show that a fair number of them were internally telling the U.S., we are fine with whatever you want to do against Iran. We don't like them. You want to bomb them, go ahead. But in public, they would be saying the opposite.
Oh, okay. Who's the guy behind WikiLeaks?
It's this blonde guy, somebody.
Doing a song?
That's him. Yeah, it's Australian.
He doesn't sound American.
No, he's Australian.
He's Australian.
Yes.
So he's not.
Or he's an alien, because he's kind of tall and thin and really blonde.
So, why is it silly to say we should charge him with treason?
Well, you really can't charge non-Americans with treason,
Exactly.
number one. And number two, I'm not sure they could, Constitution has very strict requirements for what constitutes treason.
Isn't this just like the Pentagon Papers?
It's very similar to the Pentagon Papers. They've essentially published a bunch of information that the government didn't want published.
Right. I was reading about the Pentagon Papers.
Were you?
This is cool.
Bored at home?
Some senator decided to read the Pentagon Papers in the Senate.
Into the congressional record.
And he can't be charged with anything he said in the Senate.
That's correct.
So
Separation of powers.
And now it's in public record in the Senate. So the
Yes.
Pentagon Papers no longer classified. There's a whole big.
Well, they are still classified, but they are also in the public domain.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of cool. I read about that. So the New York Times has printed stuff.
Yes, they
from
have,
WikiLeaks.
and somehow no one is threatening the New York Times with treason.
They're citizens of the United States.
They
as
are.
far as corporations go.
Yes, well, the reporters and the editors are.
So what's the difference between First Amendment and treason?
Well, the First Amendment doesn't allow the government to restrict people's right to speak, essentially on any matter. Now, you can have a right to speak and be charged treason for said speech, but the government can't prohibit you from speaking.
So they can't stop you from being treasonous,
That's correct.
but they can.
Then
charge
they
you
can
with being
prosecute you for
treasonous.
treason. Yeah.
That sounds.
Well, treason.
a
There's a pretty
slippery
hard.
slope.
There's a pretty high bar for treason.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it requires 2 direct witnesses that have to testify in court.
Aren't all the readers of New York Times witnesses?
They wouldn't be witnesses to the treason. The treason would have been the decision to publish.
Is the treason?
Well, maybe they are. Maybe they are.
Is
Hard
the
to say.
treason the publishing or the leaking?
Well, the leaking, which was done by an army, it's believed by an army private, who for some reason got access to all of them. That's a crime because he had access to secret and non-secret information, and he chose to release it to someone, namely to someone at WikiLeaks. We don't know who he released it to, but clearly gave it to someone.
All right. Well, we got to go. Our next show is on January 13th.